Now, the time is now 8 o'clock and we're live. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. We've got another exclusive for you. I haven't done exclusive in a while. We have an exclusive in the room. We have with us the trainer of Matt Korobov and a man that's quite knowledgeable himself within the world of boxing. Without further ado, I'm going to be introducing to the room Mr. Charles Mooney. Charles, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. It's great to have you on the show in official capacity after the Stavern fight.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So people who don't know about your illustrious amateur background, let's let people know a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Now at 68, I can talk about those things.
Okay.
So, I started boxing in the District of Columbia, in the alleys of the District of Columbia, and then joined the military, and then my career started there as amateur boxer, and then from there to Panama, from Panama to Fort Bragg, and the Olympic Games, and now into professional boxing.
Talk to me a little bit about the Olympic Games for you. What was your experience and what did you do in the Olympic Games?
Well, in '76, I was with the one of the best teams in the world. That's the '76 Olympic team. That was Sugar Ray Leonard, Leon Spinks. I'm sorry, Lewis Curtis, Leo Randolph,
yes,
Charles Mooney, Davey Armstrong, Howard Davis, Sugar Ray Leonard, Clint Jackson, Chuck Walker, Michael Spinks, Leon Spinks, and John Tate.
Wow.
And yeah, those great gentlemen were my teammates.
I remember you. Was it true you told me that you sparred? Was it true you? Was it you who said that you sparred with Sugar Ray, or you had contact with Sugar Ray?
Yeah. We sparred when he first turned pro. I don't know how many fights he had when I sparred him, but I had got reassigned in the District of Columbia, and believe it or not, I had thoughts of trying to hold my position in the military as an Army recruiter and trained at the same time with Ray. And I had opportunities available, but time and if it's not for me, I wasn't in the gym completely. It never held me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I was unfortunate to have about 15 years in already in the military. So I said, might as well hang there and make a career of it. But we did. He needed some southpaw work, and we did about 4 rounds, and I got out of there quickly because I fought at 119 pounds as a bantamweight. Imagine running into somebody as fast as you. He was about 150 then, but my goodness, he was 106, 112, 119. That's a very fast pace, that you have. But this guy, unbelievable. Howard Davis, same thing.
When you look at, obviously, what Sugar Ray's achieved now, in foresight, or hindsight, we say. At the time, did you expect Sugar Ray to achieve what he achieved in his career back then?
Believe it or not, he was like the senior of the team.
Right.
I was the oldest, but he had the most experience. This was his second time around going to the Olympic trials and won the Olympic trials, and now he went to the Olympic Games and won a gold medal, but he did it in such a fashion that you would think that this guy was going to be a world champion. And I think he had double thoughts in his mind. At first it was going to be college, and then it turned out to be professional boxing. He could have done both with great success, and he did, with his boxing career.
Fine.
But yes, I definitely thought yes.
Fabulous, fantastic. So let's talk a little bit now. Obviously, now you've become you're a professional coach. How long have you been a professional boxing coach now, Charles?
Oh, let's see. Retired out of the military in '92. So I started professional side of the house in '92. And but before that, I was at all Army boxing camps. I had the alternate team in 1984. I had Mike Tyson and Floyd Favors, and they were '84 Olympic team, alternate team. Uh-huh. So Kenny Adams and I had the alternate team, and Ham Johnson, Mark Two Shop Johnson's father, him and I was also a part of that '84 alternate team. And then before that, I was the athletes rep for the Olympic Committee and all that kind of. So I got involved politically as well as on the action side of the house.
Wow.
Very fortunate to be around all those different kinds of people. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk now about you now as a pro trainer. Who are the sort of guys that you've worked with or worked under your tutelage?
One claim to fame, I had a guy that the credit goes to the guy that was in the corner that night. But this guy was my fighter. His name was William Joppy.
Uh-huh.
Joppy ended up in WBC, WBA. He was, he done his thing. But unfortunately, I wasn't in the corner that night. But I tried. I'm taking most of the credit for that because it went from the streets of Maryland to the Olympic Games. That's how I call it. He went to Olympic trials. He fought against Chris Bird. We lost, and then he turned pro, and he was a middleweight champion.
Yes, can't knock that. Yeah. He fought Howard Eastman as well, I believe. Lion Paw.
And Trinidad,
yeah. And he had the Trinidad fight. That was a fight that, wow.
Yeah, man.
Let's not talk about that.
And from there, I worked with a couple other guys. I was fortunate to be around Keith Holmes on his comeback, Tony Thompson, Sean B. Mitchell. I was with him in one event as a cut man, but I've had some female boxers and my own gym in Rockville, Maryland, and Laurel, Maryland. So I've been involved since '92 is when I retired from the military, and I got in the school system. But I was able to open up a nonprofit organization. It was called Charles M. Mooney Academy of Boxing.
Ah.
And then I ended up in here I am in Florida. Ended up here, 12 years.
Wow. Now, I want to go back a touch. Obviously, you've got some history of English fighters or British fighters. Howard Eastman, nice scalp there. The guy that brought Tony Thompson over twice to fight David Price.
Exactly. Yeah.
The guy but then you also brought Stavern over to the UK, and I guess Joyce got one back there. So now you've got another bite of the cherry. This time with Christopher Eubank Jr. The fight has now been more or less announced. First of all, how did you get to hear about this fight between Eubank Jr. and Matt Korobov? Was it something that Matt came to you about and said, "Hey, look, this is the fight," or?
We were preparing for a fight, and Mike Barone is the Matt Bay's manager,
right?
And he was informing us that this was going to take place. But in a boxing position, you're on a wait list. If you're not the premier guy, the alpha guy, if you're not in that lane, sometimes you're not. It's not in a hurry to get with a guy like Matt Bay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a difficult fight. He's a hard fighter. Has a lot of experience, but because of Mike Barone, he really has put him in a good position to fight this guy. Because nobody, with fighters, Billy Joe Sanders would not. All the middleweights over there would not mess with us. So finally, we get a shot.
So you mean you've had negotiation with Billy Joe Saunders as well, or non-negotiations?
Yeah, we had. Back in the day, when Matt Bay was a little younger. He's 36 now. So I think about 4 years ago we had the opportunity, but Billy Joe Saunders didn't want anything to do with us.
Well, he was. I remember McVeigh was being avoided like a plague. I mean, Peter Quillen didn't want any part of that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Peter Quillen, same thing. Peter Quillen turned down $1 million purse to not fight us.
So now, you had the fight against Charlo recently. What was your thought on the Charlo fight?
I thought I won that. I thought that we were ahead on the points. Sure, there was a good shot at two good shots at the end of the fight. But again, as you know, one hard punch doesn't give you 10 points. You know, if you get a knockdown, then you get a 8, maybe. You know, not a 10. So I thought we won. I thought we won that.
What?
I think we would win.
I mean, people would say, well, of course you thought you won because you're his coach. Can you give us a breakdown as to why you thought you won the fight? So fight fans can go back and look at that fight again and look at it through the eyes of the trainer.
Okay. Point-wise, our mission in Matt Bay's fight style is based on points.
Okay.
And also direct hits and power shots. We control all the seventh, all the way to the seventh, and some say the seventh and the 8th round. And then it was said that Charlo needed to knock Matt Bay out in order to get a win because he was a little behind point-wise. Sometimes the referee judges get lost, I guess you might say. I'm not taking anything from them. But even the announcers were saying positive things about the champion, which he's supposed to, but never gave us our part. You know what I mean? When we struck viciously and with beautiful sharpness, they would make a big deal out of it, like they would make a big deal out of one shot or 2 shots from the champion, you know. But based on the point system and the boxing skill level, we did great. If anything, they could have made it a draw. But I thought we walked away with it.
So when you facing Charlo, did you think, looking at Charlo in the fight itself, was he what you expected him to be? Was he better? Was he worse? What did you think of Charlo as a fighter?
I thought Charlo, from the beginning, I was impressed with both brothers. He's trained by my good friend, very good friend, Ronnie Shields. And Ronnie's been around the sport a long time. Him and I, you know, when I was in the Nationals, I think it was 73, he fought Ray Leonard, or 74.
Okay.
He fought Ray Leonard. And we got close that way because Ray was in the next room in the hotel. And we used to pass in passing, we would see each other. But we ventured, I boxed against his teammate, that kind of thing. You know, we ended up being real good friends. But because of Ronnie Shields' coaching, teaching abilities, I knew that guy had good skills. You know,
okay.
And the kid he's a big kid. He's not a small middleweight by no means. He's like, he looked like after the picture I took with him, he was like 6 feet or 6'1" or 2 like that. I was impressed because he had the length in the arms and that kind of stuff. He was like a Andy Lee kind of height, you know what I mean?
So in terms of Charlo, do you think you can move up maybe to super middleweight, light heavy possibly?
Yeah, he could do super middleweight easy. He could probably grow. He can grow into an outstanding light heavy. And you know, you see how the some of these great athletes are spaced out. You got Charlos could easily go up. His brother could take his place and go into middleweight, and he go to super middle. And you got Benavidez holding super middleweight. That's a nice fight for those challenging fighters. And yeah, I think Charlo could very much so.
So I mean, in terms of Charlo at the moment, How do you think he would do against a Canelo or Andrade or GGG?
People look at fights and try to determine who's going to win or lose based on size and style, and they forget about the age factor. You lose a little edge when you're a professional, but if you're a total package professional boxer like Triple G,
yes,
he has boxing skills, he has good defensive skills, he has a good power, smart, has a degree in boxing, is excellent. He has a master's or a doctor's degree because of his ability to render you unconscious, and then he has the ability to fight. Now that he's moved on, I didn't see Triple G the last fight. I didn't see it then because time showed up and the match was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but he was in there to fight. I think they gave him the credit because he was world champion before. But what do you think? What did you think about that fight?
I thought Devin Checo beat him.
Yeah.
But you know how it is. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. So all right. So let's talk about Chris Eubank Jr. You find out about the fight. What's your thoughts on Chris Eubank Jr. before the fight was announced and now the fight's been announced? So his career so far, and then he gets announced as your opponent, and now looking at him from a fan's eyes and a boxing connoisseur's eyes to a coach's eyes. What do you see?
Well, he's a tremendous athlete. You can tell not by his structure, by his performance and how he trains. And I've studied him and looked at him a long time ago. He comes from a rare breed, like his father, Rare. Naturally strong like that. And his son carried on and received the same things that his father possesses. So I studied him. He's a hard, exciting, try to mix it up fighter, but he's short some things. I think he would have been a total package if he had a longer amateur career, and he has some skills, but he depends on his strength a little bit. And Billy Joe Sanders, he didn't look that sharp that night, but Billy Joe Sanders made him look bad as Billy Joe Sanders southpaw versus this Chris Eubanks Jr.
And then what about the George Groves fight?
The Groves?
When George Groves fought Eubank at super middleweight in the World Super Series.
Yeah, now Groves, because Groves was fearless guy, and he made Eubanks have to perform properly, and I thought that one could have went either way too, you know what I mean? But Billy Joe Sanders and him, I thought Billy Joe he dominated, and he outboxed him and was very smart. Now, Groves, I can't remember, who was the oldest at that time, at that fight? Was Groves older?
Groves was the older guy, the experienced champion.
Yeah, the experienced guy. Well put. But again, you lose that edge after you get a little older.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a natural thing. It's what's going to happen. Unless you're a total fighter that has learned to fight like a pro/amateur. If you can add your pro and amateur together, you can come out real good sometimes. But Eubanks only has one way of fighting. And that's he tries to counter very fast, has some good defensive skills, but it's not all together. It's all the fights that I've seen him fight were sporadic, strong, classy. He's not a pure boxer. Give a good example. Super middleweight David Benavidez, he ran through that super series. You know what I mean? Because he has that kind of thing that you have as a fighter, and everybody don't have it. You know what I mean? Chris Eubanks have a little of that dog in him, but I don't think he has a pit bull in him. You know what I mean? So it's going to be an interesting fight.
What does Matt Korobov bring to the table now? People are thinking, well, okay, Korobov's the skilled fighter. He's the more experienced fighter. He's got the decorated amateur career. He's had a world championship. Is Matt Korobov a bit long in the tooth? Is that the reason why Eubank dared to take this fight and come to America? Because most people think it's a suicidal fight. It's a good fight, but it's suicidal on your debut in America.
Yeah. I think Matvey is a difficult fighter to fight because now he can play two parts. He can get down and dirty. He can fight you inside and fight you outside. So he's kind of universal when it comes to time to battle in the ring, and he can make it difficult with a sharp guy. Charlo, sharp, could not do what he wanted to do to Matvey because Matvey's skill, his abilities to evade getting hit. So and then Matvey used to hold that title, but the kid's going through a lot of stuff. Not making no excuses for him. He would have a stomach problem after doing the fight. He's fight anyway. You know what I mean? Or he's that kind of guy. So every time something would show up, or after he would finish a fight, he would look bad, but he would finish, but he'd always look bad. In the training camp, he would look excellent, do 15 rounds easy, but there was always something that would stop it from happening. So everybody's got this outside look, looking at Matvey saying, "Oh, he never finishes strong. He fought Charlo, didn't win. He fought this Aleem guy. We walked out of the ring with a win, and when we got to the dressing room, they called it a draw." That kind of garbage. So if he's looking at that as a track record, I'm glad. Because he has another thing coming when he gets to fight Matvey this time in the United States. Like you said, he has a beautiful amateur career. And Eubank's amateur career, I don't remember him doing anything as an amateur. He went straight to professionalism. Am I right?
Yes. Well, he had a couple of gold. I think he won a Golden Gloves, or maybe like that. He won Golden Gloves. I think he said or something like that.
Right. But Matvey, he has over 300 amateur fights. You know what I mean? So his IQ is a little higher when it comes down to the boxing skills. So I'm excited. He's 36. He's got a brand new baby. He has a house, and he has to do what he has to do in order to win, and that's to be in shape for this guy. And but skill-wise, we'll dominate the whole fight.
No doubt.
No doubt.
You have enough time to prepare? What's Matvey's mental? Where is he like mentally? What's he like physically? What's the shape he's in?
Oh, the guy is an excellent athlete. He has great shape. Our camp was early. We started early, because I have 2 kids, 2 Argentina fighters, 147, 1 light heavy, and we stay in the ring. Everybody. I don't do that bang bang, knock you out kind of sparring. I like to be educated with. You have to learn your offensive and defensive skills, and you can't do that when you're trying to tear a guy's head off. So my plan was working out perfect. You have welterweight speed and light heavyweight power, and then you have a middleweight. So he has that advantage of having this kind of camp that we've had already.
So will you bring any other sparring in for Eubank?
No. Yeah, we'll bring some people in, but Eubanks is his own kind of guy. You can't flip the page and look, this is what Eubanks does. No, he's a different kind of athlete when it comes down to the sport. He's not a typical boxer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has abilities, but they're sporadic. They're not. He'll bring the fight to you. Depends on the kind of fight it is. Because he fought Billy Joe Sanders different than Groves.
Yeah.
So he's like easy to figure out, in my opinion.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Let's talk about some of the big events that have happened in boxing recently. First of all, I've got to talk about James Ali Bashir and what happened with him. What are your thoughts about what happened with Uncle Bashir?
Bashir is a great friend. Known each other for a very long time. He's an excellent person. He's a great coach. He's lived a life in the boxing world and been successful at it. I think that's terrible for something like that to take place, period. You know, it's just a terrible thing. I'm glad to know that he's getting better.
There was a video out by not Roger Mayweather, by Jeff Mayweather, and he basically was doing a video around the gym, wanted to find out if James Ali Bashir deserved the beating that he got.
You know, everybody talks trash. Everybody. You know, think about the guys that's in the middle, on the podium after the weigh-in, and they really. Mike Tyson was kind of vicious like that. I think he was. Burby got some that they were fighting, and Mike almost hit the guy. You know, but nothing ever takes place. After that's done, is they take care of that, and then you get involved. It happens in the ring. To have something like this was very. For this to happen was just very. This wasn't professional. It was just the wrong people in the wrong place, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
He didn't deserve none of that. I don't care if he was talking big trash, super trash talking, but he didn't deserve to be getting. Nobody needs to be hit nowhere. Not a coach that's representing anybody. You know. So I've been to some weigh-ins that it turns into a fight, period. Because the family walks around like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't mention no names, but, you know, shit happens. You know, but nobody hits somebody in the back of the head. Nobody, that's a coward's way out. I don't care for it. It's upsetting to talk
about. He was actually trying to look at how much Clarissa was weighing, and supposedly her camp was trying to push him away from actually looking at the weigh-in. So they were preventing him from doing his job.
That don't deserve a punch in the back of the head.
Well, he's arrested now. They're saying he could do 10 years.
Wow. Was it her brother, or because I haven't paid any attention to that?
Yes, it was her brother.
Wow. Well, that's the price you gotta pay when you're in the wrong place at the wrong time sometimes, you know.
Bashir's teeth, he's got his teeth missing. He can't, his eyesight's blurry. Blood clot on the brain. It's ridiculous. He's in a bad state.
For the man doing his job. He was doing his job. He's supposed to do that. That means we have some children in the area. You know what I mean? That's just so ignorant. That's so stupid.
And there was no security. Where was the security on the day? There was no security.
Wow, there must be a low budget thing. Normally, have people there to take care of stuff.
Correct.
Right there in the weigh-in section, you have people that are there to stop stuff.
Correct, and it wasn't.
My goodness.
Not good.
It's not good, man.
All right.
I've been knowing him for a long time, man.
Yeah.
I got a lot of time with him.
Let's talk about another subject. Let's talk about this WBC franchise champion. What are your thoughts on the WBC franchise champion?
If they keep making up stuff as we go, is it too many fighters that we have to now make up? We all have 6 belts that you can talk about, but what's this new belt stuff? I don't get it.
Well,
I don't
do. According to Mauricio Silliman, his words were, even if you get beat as franchise champion, you still remain champion.
If you're going to make a rule on something, you just can't have one out of nowhere. It just got to be, everything got to be on board. Everything else is across the board. You know what I mean? You win, you lose. That's the name of the game. You don't win. If you lose this, no, you don't have to worry about it. Because I don't get it.
Make your rules as you go along. And by the way, that belt, if there's an undisputed championship, then that belt is considered undisputed as well.
Disputed from what? From who?
What? Well, check this. Canelo is the franchise champion. Devin Haney was calling out Lomachenko. Lomachenko gets promoted to franchise champion, and Devin Haney is now full WBC champion.
Oh my God, this is very interesting. So who's getting paid?
Well, Lomachenko, Canelo, and more money to the WBC.
Oh, I'm talking serious pay. Are these 6 digits and better?
Well, I think Canelo's didn't he sign a $300 million deal with DAZN? Lomachenko's on. I know Lomachenko's with. I think Lomachenko's with DAZN as well. So I guess I don't know. But I noticed that Deontay Wilder never got a franchise belt. I noticed that Mayweather never got a franchise belt, and Muhammad Ali never got an honorary belt. So I'm not sure what's going on here. And Terence Crawford never got a franchise belt, and he was undisputed. So you tell me. Usyk never got a franchise belt, and he was undisputed cruiserweight champion. So I mean, where are we at with this stuff?
Does the belt belong to the WBC?
Yeah, Mauricio Sullivan made it up. And when they asked him about it, he was like, it's too difficult to explain. No, it's very easy to explain. You're a crook. That's what it is.
He's a pirate. Maybe a pirate,
It's political BS. Next subject. Let's talk about this weekend. Obviously, we've got 2 fights coming up. We've got, first of all, Prograis versus Taylor. What are your thoughts on that fight?
So that's the kind of fight whoever comes out at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who got the werewolves? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Somebody. That's what I think. Whoever the one's got the bigger werewolves going to come out of there.
Sounds good. Let's talk about David Price and Derek Chisora.
You know what? Everybody's supposed to have an opportunity to try to come back.
Yeah.
Everybody. You know what I mean? God bless David Price. I hope that he can make it through the fight and not get hurt. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Because he was getting hurt as an amateur. He got hurt as a pro. That's not good. That's not a good thing. I'm looking at on that part.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes when the bell rings, all the plans go out the back door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as soon as you touch by a right hand or left hook, all the plans go out the back door. So it's hard to say. I hope he comes out of there okay. The other guys is sort of puncher, right?
Who? Chisora, yeah.
Yeah, he sort of, but he started over there overseas, and I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know call that one.
Okay.
I'm just hoping that he first come out all right.
Okay. Let me hear your take on Anthony Joshua, the losing the weight, the rematch with Ruiz. How do you see that fight going? The rematch with Andy Ruiz.
Now you're talking about boxer versus boxer, supposed to be, but it was like boxer versus boxer and pit bull mix.
So talk to me about that.
That's what's going to happen. Joshua, I was very impressed when I saw Joshua come back, get knocked down, get back up, fight again. You impressed me, But when he got dropped by the pit bull, he He dominated. But then you're supposed to look at the history. You're supposed to look, do the investigation. You got to put the police hat on and go investigate what Joshua did. Did Joshua take him lightly? Did Joshua do halfway training? Did he do a Mike Tyson thing and had 5 girls in the tub with him before he fought? You know what I mean? So I don't know. If Joshua boxes and keep one outside, I think he can dominate. He's got to be in great shape. That's all.
But can he do it?
But we don't know. Sometimes you get shattered. When you get touched like that and you get dropped that many times, your whole world can change. You be paranoid. You don't know what to expect. And now this kid got momentum. He's excited. He's now a champion, and he wants to keep it. So it's going to be a hell of a fight, I tell you that. The other guy want to get it back, but he's shattered a little bit, because he got cracked pretty good. When you stand up and looking up at the ceiling, that ain't good. So,
well, according to Joshua, it was a lucky punch from the gods.
When you go to sleep, okay, all right. So a lucky punch, he went down because it was a lucky punch. No, he went down because you got cracked in your chin. Nothing lucky. That's a luck, huh? Shit. Oh boy. But I tell you what, I'm impressed with both of them. They're both great athletes.
Okay.
They're good guys. They're good people. You know what I
mean? Yeah. Of course.
A punch is a punch.
Yeah, a punch is a punch.
Yeah, you can put a dress on it. You can put a wig on it. You can put, if it hits you and you go down, it was the punch.
Not the lucky gods.
Now, who is that? They sell that. They selling the bunches. I need to order me.
That's how many punches. I need to order some. Oh boy, you funny, you funny, Mr. Mooney. You funny. I need to order some of them gods. Oh boy, yeah, we need a couple of them as well. Oh boy.
How's the first lady, man?
Yeah, all good.
I said hello.
Will do. Also, let's talk about let me think. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder and Ortiz, the rematch. How do you see that going?
Again, you got an excellent fighter. You got two vicious punchers and boxers. Now, one box is better than the other, but you got a young guy versus an old guy. And the young guy is not this young anymore. I forget how old Wilder is, but I know that the other young man is 40-something, if not more.
Not more. You mean near the 50?
I don't know. You got some deets down there. What's the number on him?
I don't know. I've heard it's closer to 48, 49.
Yeah, Lord. So, I think Wilder's going to walk away with this one. Unless this old man is in shape and it gives him a box. That's because he got a boxing lesson the first time before him. He just didn't have any gas at the end. So who knows? Education might take part, and then youthism might take part. That's another flipper.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going for what I said. Wilder would blast him out of there the first time. This time, Wilder will blast him out of there inside 4 rounds.
Oh, okay.
I don't see how old man gets better. I just think he has to get fit and be just more wide, just be more experienced in there. But he's not going to be any better. Whereas Wilder's getting better as a fighter.
Yeah, he is, and young. That age is a big factor for some people. Look at Hopkins. Hopkins kicked butt.
Yeah, but Hopkins is world champion. Ortiz has never been a world champion.
Yes, he is. He is.
And Hopkins will go down as an all-time great. Ortiz will not go down as an all-time great. There is a huge difference.
Unless he'll make history. He beats Wilder.
Of course. That's the only way.
Yep.
You'd have to be. That's how you have to do it. Okay. Fair enough. One final thing. Let's talk a little bit about this pound for pound business. Lomachenko, number one pound for pound fighter in the world today. Your thoughts?
Lomachenko to me is one of the most superb fighters on this planet. I think he has. Now, Rigondeaux was that guy before. And also the other kid from Cuba was that guy before too. My man stopped him. But I think Lomachenko is an excellent fighter. Just a great fighter, man. Now, pound for pound wise and all that stuff, it's, people make up stuff as they go, man. So, but yes, he could be considered pound for pound. But to me, you have to have, if they had a rule on doing, you got to fight this guy in order to be announced as the pound for pound guy. Just because you have those skills, no. I think you have to, just like anything, that as an amateur, you have to fight to get through the brackets to get to number one. I think the same thing should apply to being announced as a pound for pound fighter.
Okay. That's fair enough. Final fight to talk about. Canelo, Kovalev. Who wins and why?
Canelo is another rare breed. He has that thing. You know what I mean? When you have that thing, it's hard to beat until that thing wears down. You know what I mean? That's the only problem with that. You can have that thing, but if once time takes place, that gets worn down, and you better know how to do some other things. Other than moving quickly. So, I think Canelo could dominate. But the other thing, Canelo's like 5'9".
Yeah.
Right? And Kovalev is 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. He might have a problem. Because Kovalev is a fighter. He's another dog fighter. He can bring it. And another thing's wrong with him. He's got numbers on him too. How old is Kovalev?
I think he's about 36 now. 36.
36. So I don't know if he kept the dog. If the dog got out of the cage and Pitbull got out, then he might have a problem. All depends on who got that it. And if that it is gone, he could lose. But if he got it, he could dominate. So now you're talking about a young man is coming up from 159 to he floats around 160, but he might be getting fat. Who knows? But if you got sometime coming up weight, you don't bring that punch with you. You know what I mean? You come up and you be average, the same as a light heavyweight. My man is the light heavyweight champion. Was light heavyweight champion. Coming from 180, 190, you know what I mean? Down to light heavy. So, you got a young man coming up, I don't know. That'll be a good fight, but I think I can make that decision after the fourth round. Right now, I think it's a toss-up. I don't know who's going to get it.
Okay. All right. So, final point about Mr. Eubank. Do you have a message to Eubank and Eubank supporters?
We welcome you to come over here. I'm glad you have taken this opportunity to give us this opportunity to. I'm not going to say that on air. That won't sound right. So I'm not going to say it. But we welcome you to come get this.
Okay.
Right.
And do you have a message to Matt Korobov detractors and critics say he's too old and he's past it?
Well, watch the fight. what's going on. Because I'm not going to allow no one. If whoever is in front of me is not going to, I'm not going to let them go out there and get hurt. That ain't going to happen. Because I take care of the fighter for a while and how he's supposed to react and do things. A lot of things are different than those guys is beating each other up before they get to the fight. So watch the fight. Come see for yourself. Because we plan to dominate.
Okay. Charles Mooney, thank you so much, Mr. Mooney, for your time, for your dynamic conversation or dynamism, and thank you so much for your insight. It's much appreciated, and all the best.
I appreciate you, man. Well, look forward to seeing you one day.
That sounds good. Sounds like a plan. See you soon.
All right, brother.
Take care, champ. All the best. Bye-bye. So there you have it there. Charles Mooney, the trainer of Matt Korobov, is basically saying, come, we welcome you to the United States of America, Mr. Eubank. We're ready for you. And for those of you who are doubting Matt Korobov, his trainer says, come see the fight. Our man will be ready. So that's it. Another exclusive from BWTM Sports. We hope you've enjoyed it. See you soon. Take care.